I'm Dakota Piorkowski. I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the Life Science Department of Tunghai University, and I'm interested in studying the mechanisms controlling and variation in mechanical, chemical, and molecular properties of arthropod silks, which include spiders and insects. In science, I think that asking why is really important, and for me as a person, since I was young, I've always been asking why. Whether it was asking my parents why I needed to be home at a certain time, or why I needed to eat a certain kind of food that I didn't like, or it was in high school when I was dissecting frogs and sharks, asking why the insides looked the way they did. I've always been interested in knowing more, knowing why. So I started my career as a scientist at the University of Akron, and I initially intended to be a pre-med student where I would go from being an undergrad to then going to medical school, but I started work with Dr. Todd Blackledge and working on spider silks and various projects that I was helping him out with as a volunteer. And I had learned that that was a good way to get a resume builder for medical school, but I started to realize that I was actually falling more in love with the process of research and the process of discovery. And I thought that maybe I'd be better suited for being a scientist and pursuing my dreams of spending a life of discovery. And once I had learned that and sort of assessed that in myself, it just took off. As a scientist, there are three sources in which I draw inspiration from. One being making my own discoveries in science. Two, helping others in their own endeavors in finding discoveries in science. And thirdly, getting to travel the world. Discovery is a personal journey that I like to embark on. And as I go through my life and spend time in science, I like to try and help those around me, particularly students who may also be interested in that sort of journey in making discoveries on their own. Travel between different places in the world, both for conferences, things such as research projects. These are all things that allow both an ability to make new collaborations with other people, as well as get to experience other cultures and see places you may not have ever been to or have ever thought about going. The three things and sort of pieces of advice that I would give for younger people looking to start a career in science. The first is to find a research topic that you're passionate about. It doesn't need to be something that you feel you're going to do for your whole life, but it's a good way to grow and learn faster about how to conduct good science by working in a system that you really enjoy and are really curious about. Secondly, master a skill. Find something that you can do, that you enjoy, whether that's statistical analysis, whether that's PCR, using an NMR machine, whatever. And finally, maintain balance in your life. Living in the lab is not ideal. Certainly there are times that you need to, but mental health is really important, and you need to maintain your own sense of clarity, because burnout is very real and can happen to anybody at any time, and you don't want to cut your own career short because you were unable to keep your life centered and grounded.